third bird, both together, we call it the spectacles bird in Mauritius, just because of the white circle. But the name of the bird is the olive white-eye. And the family of the olive white-eye live on the main island. We call it pick-pick. Same size, only 10 centimeters long adult size. They are the smallest bird of Mauritius. And this one, it's olive green in color. But the pick-pick are gray in color. They are not endangered. They live on the main island. But the olive white-eye, they are endangered. And you will see olive white-eye only in nature reserve. Here we have approximately 80 of them. They are monogamous bird, like you can see even on the picture. Always males and females together for life. Yes. And as reptile, there are two main species that we protect here. We have the giant tortoises from Seychelles, and tortoises from Seychelles, we call it the Aldabra species. They were introduced by Charles Darwin in Mauritius just to replace the Mauritian species, which are actually extinct. There were two long ago. And there are 26 giants in the nature, in the wild, freely. And we have also a nursery with more than 100 babies inside. You will go also to the nursery today. And as reptile, we have a big lizard. So we have normally the small lizard that we call geckos. Geckos, it's common species. You will see geckos, a lot of them on the main island. But the main lizard here, we call it skink. Same shape as a lizard, but they measure around 40 centimeters adult size. They live on the ground. And instead of skin, like the normal gecko, they have scale. So that's why we call it skink, not geckos, right? So we have approximately 200 skink here in the nature, and the main population of telfair skink live on Round Island. Unfortunately, due to predation on the main island, it's not possible to reintroduce them again on the main island actually, because they are critically endangered, and on the main island there are a lot of rats and mongooses, which will eat them naturally, right? So we will start the visit by the nursery, and then you will see fruits bats in the enclosure also today, right?
Plus que 100. Waouh! La boutique, il y a même une boutique ici. Le sentier de dodo. Karen, je crois que les dodos ne savaient pas comment nager.
Non. Ils ne savaient pas non plus voler.
Ach! Mais ils avaient un très bon goût.
Apparemment.
C'est pour ça que les gens...
Elle n'était pas aussi bonne que ça.
Les gens mangeaient parce qu'il n'y avait pas beaucoup de choix, non?
Down. So some of you, if you want, you can come on this side. Then you will see all tortoises inside. And there are fruits bats hanging also.
Oh, babies are there.
All babies are at the back. This side.
Come baby. Come baby.
Alors, yeah. What is it?
Va le bébé, Karen. C'était un petit.
So here at our tortoises nursery, and there are two species inside. The first species, the dark one, it's the Aldabra, and they will be giant in some years. They can live for more than 150 years old. And the second species of tortoises, it's the Radiata, the one with yellow liners on their shell. At the back, close to the door there, you can see. So they are from Madagascar, these ones. And Radiata, normally they stay small and they can live for 100 years old approximately. Right. But this one, they will go over 100 to 200 kilos. Giant. And all baby tortoises will stay here for 5 years old because unfortunately when they are so tiny, like they are at the back, sometimes adult tortoises can walk on them, right? Yes, often. And also we have some species which can eat them in the nature. You have crows, which can eat them easily because when they born, they are really soft. Even the shell is really soft. It's really soft. And here we feed them, we follow them. We have some biologists which live on this island daily, from Monday to Saturday. Yes, permanently, just to follow animals. Especially giant tortoises which live in the nature. They need to be followed by biologists daily, just because the shell normally, it's not like snail shell. They are not attached to their shell. It's not possible for them to go out of their shell like snail. And it's normally a sensitive place of their body, like you can see all liners that you can see on their shell or their nervous system. So everything that you will do over the shell, they will feel it at the top, right? And when a tortoise is on his back, it's really a bad position because it will suffocate. The lung is attached to the shell on the both sides at the top. So that's why biologists which live here, they follow mostly tortoises, those who live in the nature.
When will they release them? After 5 years?
After 5 years old, these babies will go on the main island in other nature reserve. But unfortunately, Aux Aigrettes, it's not enough large to contain all these tortoises.
Oh, okay.
How much wild tortoise do you have?
26. Yes, only one species, 26. And if you're lucky today, you will see the biggest one, who is Big Daddy.
Is he on the island somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere here. Big Daddy is 110 years old. It's the biggest one, but not the oldest one. The oldest one is Mr. George. Mr. George is 135 years old. But they are still young because they live for 200 years, right? And they reproduce for their whole life. They grow for their whole life.
The male and the female?
Male and female both. But you will see the difference between their size. Naturally, females stay smaller than males, right? And just here, you can see fruit bats. So the three fruit bats here, and unfortunately, we collect them after cyclone, right? They lost their parent, and actually, they are a bit like domestic. They can't find their own food in the nature. We feed them here, and it's the Mauritian species. We call it rousette. Flying fox of Mauritius, rousette. They feed only on fruits, and they help us a lot for pollination also on this island, while walking on trees every night. So they just help us like that for pollination, and also for dispersal of seeds around the main island. Because they just feed on fruits, then they carry the seed everywhere with them, right? So they are not blind, they are not nocturnal too. They can see you actually day and night, right? But unfortunately, the Mauritian fruit bat, normally all bats are mammals, right? And it's the only flying mammals left actually. That's why it's not possible for them to come out during the day because of the sun. Because mammals naturally they sweat a lot. They will die. Right?
And where did these babies come from? An egg on the island, or where did they
Eggs?
come from?
Yes, they come from the island. Their parents are in the nature, these babies. And the female just lay her eggs directly in artificial nests that we made for them.
Oh, okay.
Just to help them because the island is coral island and there's not enough compost for them to dig to lay their eggs. They will have to bury between 1 to 25 eggs once a year. Incubation takes place in the nature. It's approximately 3 to 4 months. Then hatching season, we just collect babies when they come out. We leave them with nature. We just help babies, right? And as all reptile, mother will not come again to look after babies. No, they just lay and they go. Right. And actually, it's reproduction season, so I will bring you to the nest also, and you will see how they dig. Right.
Wow.
You said how much?
Once a year, they reproduce between 1 to 25 eggs.
What age do they start reproducing? Like laying eggs? What age do they start laying eggs?
So approximately 35 to 40 years.
Wow.
For them, it's still young. Because before the age of 20 to 25 years old, it's not possible for us to know who is male and who is female. All of them look the same, right? So at 25 years old, you will see that female will stay smooth, the shell, and the male will become bumpy, right? Then you will know that.
So even these are too young. These are
They're
what?
too young.
Too young.
It's not possible for us to know who is male and who is female. Yeah, all of them are same now.
Okay. Male, female turtle, different personality or same?
No, male or territorial. Yes, you can find 5 to 6 female on one territory. There's no problems, but rarely two male. During reproduction season, you will never see two male together.
Because they'll fight with
always
each other.
Fight. Yes, they just lock their shells together. But after mating season, sometimes you can find them together. Right? No need to fight. So we will continue on that side.
I'm curious about the mating season. Is it certain months or is it... How do they know?
Only in one period of the year.
When it's hot out or something? Or what's the way they know?
Not really, so it's when it's winter. So end of winter, it's breeding season.
Uh-huh.
So normally they breed in winter, then end of winter, the female just lay her eggs.
Okay.
Hatching season will be in summer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Because actually reproduction season is over,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we are waiting for hatching season. It will take approximately 3 to 4 months. And after 4 months...
Hatching means that it's still inside of the mother's belly. It has to come out into the ground or it's in the ground already?
Ground already.
Oh.
Yeah, direct on the ground. So it's later. So sorry for the state of the kiosk. We are in renovation actually here. We will just pass by and continue the visit.
I'm just curious, why is it called Aux Aigrettes? Because aigrette is seagull, no?
Aigrette normally it was a seabird. It's a seabird which was living here long ago. But they leave the island
They left,
due to severe
okay.
deforestation, etc. Introduction of predator also. But we just try to recreate this forest as Mauritius was 400 years ago. So we are waiting always for aigrettes to come here again one day.
Yeah.
That's our only aim. Because in Mauritius, unfortunately, there are approximately 2% of forest left only, right? And it's not enough for all species to survive in this forest due to predation. That's why Mauritian Wildlife Foundation, we work in specific site, nature reserve, just to conserve all birds. Right. And actually on the main island, the main predator that you will have is monkeys. You have macaques, which just they destroy nests of birds, they kill the adult size and then they eat the babies, right? And you have a lot of rail, mongoose, rats, etc., which just eat babies, bird, and also their eggs. So it's a bit difficult, but we know it, right? It's a hard work that we are doing here. Always have to control population of rail, of rats, and enemies, etc. So it needs to be a balance for the ecosystem. Yeah. It's a gecko. Where? Gecko.
Tu veux voir?
That's the Phelsuma ornata gecko, the blue one and the green one.
C'est où, Ronnie? C'est près ou c'est sous loin? Ah oui, je vois la queue. It's small, petit. Regarde.
So we call it Phelsuma ornata gecko. They are endemic to Mauritius.
Okay.
And unfortunately, actually, they are a bit endangered on the main island due to introduction of the Madagascar gecko.
Oh.
You see in the Madagascar one, the big with red dots, they just eat these ones. So we will just pass by to continue the visit.
Oh! C'est bien ça! Tu veux l'information, c'est ici. Oh. Ah! Des
So
pigeons.
on the renovation, we will have to continue there.
Ah! C'est un baby. C'est comme notre tortue, Karen. Mais notre tortue sont plus intelligents. Eux, quand ils sont jeunes, ils sont bêtes.
MT6, can you put the number on the back?
Ah!
MT6. You know where?
Il y a une
You
tortue.
have the right to go out of the trap. You will have to stay here. And it's Big Daddy,
It's Big Daddy?
the biggest one. Yes.
Big Daddy.
Unfortunately, he's not on our way here. But no worry, you will see other tortoises. That's true. He's feeding. So like you can see adaptation of animals when there are no green food for them. Normally all tortoises are vegetarian. If ever it's too difficult for them to have a green leaf, they just simply feed on dry one. Right.
Does it
That's
still
their
have nutrients though? Dry still has
They will
nutrients?
have to feed on 2 to 3 more.
Much more. Yeah.
Then drink a lot of water also.
Where do they drink water?
So there's no river on the island, so we made a lot of waterfalls around the island for them. But it's a big work because waterfalls will also attract exotic
Other animals,
species
right?
which carry diseases. So we always have to clean all waterfalls, sterilized waterfalls here.
And the water is not coming from here, it's from
From the main island.
on a pipe
there are
or something?
pipes. Yeah.
Oh.
So like Big Daddy is feeding on dry leaf. I will just tell you why Big Daddy feed on dry leaf. But there are a lot of green ones around it. Oh, that's a red body.
Ah! Ça c'est le mâle.
Exactly.
But how does he change his color? Comment?
Does it make up?
Il a make-up, il a maquillage.
Does it make up a stand just at the
Oui. Oh, baby. Big Daddy. Big Daddy, come to little daddy.
They are everywhere around the island. They're familiar.
Oh, Big Daddy.
So now I will tell you why Big Daddy eats especially dry leaf, even if there are a lot of green tree around him.
Oh.
Right? So you can see when a plant is young, that's a young pandanus tree. Pandanus on the main island, we call it simply vacua. Right? And pandanus was critically endangered because long ago, especially, the dry leaf of this plant was used for artisanal products. Handbags, hats, etc. Actually, we protect it, and you can see the way that the pandanus protect itself. Spine on the both sides.
Il y a des piquants.
Right. So it's not possible for tortoises to eat this plant,
Donc là,
even
tu
if
peux
it's
pas manger.
sold for them.
Ah.
The
Parce
spine.
qu'il y a des petits piquants.
And
Tu vois les petits
also, you can see the way that the leaf grows, spiral way. So there are always a bit of water inside. Naturally, where you have water, you will have a lot of insects, especially mosquitoes. So you will always find a lot of geckos living in pandanus tree. They just eat these mosquitoes, they drink their water inside, and they know that the spine will protect them from predators, especially birds, which can come inside the tree to eat them. Right? It's the main habitat of geckos. Imagine you're swallowing.
Yeah.
Qui reste un peu par là, il y a des moustiques et ils mangeaient
So the pandanus develop red spine, but other plants will develop a red vein. Look at this plant just here.
Tu vois, il y a une
So
bande
that's
rouge au
one.
milieu.
It's an endemic species in Mauritius. We call it the ratwood. And the ratwood, you will see it only in nature reserve. So look at the ratwood when it's young, the red design, everything. But look at the same plant, other side, finally. changed completely. It's smaller, there's no red vein, nothing. Here, it's easier for tortoises to reach it. So that's why they develop this red vein. For them, it's just a way to protect themselves from predators. Because normally, red for tortoises, it's considered as toxic. In their head, it's a poison. They will never touch it. But here, it's too high for them to reach it. Right? Right, no need to be red because it's too high. And this change of all plant that you will see here, we call it heterophile plant, heterophile process, the change. It can be through the spine or the red vein, right? Protection. And you can see even if some animals will try to feed on this leaf, they will feed on that side, but they stop with the red vein. That was not tortoises. Maybe it was a snail or a caterpillar, right?
Even they're afraid of red.
Yeah, because for them it's considered as toxic. All vegetarian species, the red vein for them, toxic, right? So that's just intelligent of nature. So that's why Big Daddy prefer the dry one. So we will continue now.
Karen, ça a l'air comme c'était des corails ici. Tout ça, des corails, n'est-ce pas? Comment elle s'appelait cette dame? Non, ce nom. Elle s'appelle quoi?
C'est celle-ci?
Non, non. La dame qui donne notre tour. Comment elle s'appelle? What's her name? Non, si j'oublie. Aïe, aïe, aïe.